Digital Board Gamer here for our week in review. This week we're reviewing the 25th. We're going to go all the way to the end of the month, the 31st. Last week of Summer Games Fest. We have 7 full games to go over and just 2 betas and no major updates. So as always, I'll start with the betas first. First we had Joker Ball, a soccer-style game with elimination. During your turn, you're going to be moving your pieces. You'll move them in a line here on this honeycomb pattern. If your players adjacent to this green, this is the ball, and you're basically trying to get it through the other side person's goal there. You can see there's an opening there. When you move your pieces onto other players' pieces, you can remove them from the game. Now you'll notice there are 2 dice here. These dice equal which direction the ball will go, as far as the movement as well, how far it'll go. Just look down at the rules here for a little brief breakdown on that. So if you like abstract strategy, soccer with a little disc elimination, check it out. Then we had Schadentoten, a Scottish 2-player only game. So in this game, you're trying to control either 3 stones together or 5 in total. And each player is going to be playing 3 cards down on their side. And then if you play poker-style hand, so you see if you get a little straight flush there, 3, 4, 5, that's the highest. And no matter what, you'd win the little token. If you get 3 of a kind, you can only be beat by a straight flush, and then so on. One thing that's really cool about this game is as soon as a player puts down all 3 cards, like this person did, he doesn't necessarily win the token until the player above can no longer beat it. So if they have an opportunity to, they can still hold out. You're drawing through this whole deck of cards, so you can kind of plan a little bit about what you may or may not draw from the deck. I do believe there's more to this game. When I first learned the game, I was kind of like, but then in my first play, I was like, oh, there's actually a lot more to this, and I actually quite enjoyed it. So check this one out. So on Monday, we had Dinogenics. Dinogenics is a worker placement style game. So you can see here the board, there's different places you can put all your workers. But there's 10 or so places where you can put them. You get 5 workers per round, and you're basically building a little dino park here. You have to surround certain dinosaurs with pens. Certain dinosaurs require certain things. Like the T-Rex here needs a pen of 3. And then, of course, he has to eat, and he has to eat 2 goats a turn, and so on. So it's a real basic style worker placement, not terribly difficult. There's a card system here that you see, and that's how you get your dinosaurs. You have to bring people in hotels, and then depending on your rating is how many people you'll attract, and people bring in more money, and so on. So if you like worker placement ones, go ahead and check this one out. I had quite a bit of fun with this one. Then we had Golfy, a card golf game. So in this game here, you're going to be dealt a 3x3 grid. The cards here, the field cards, are in your 9 cards here. And basically what you're trying to do is you're going to go through either 9 holes or 18 holes. But you want to try to line up 3 cards similar. If you're able to put par, par, par in a row here or up and down par, you actually score -2 strokes. And then you get rid of them, which is really good for like the bunkers where you see they're worth 6. Eventually you'll draw out whole cards that look like this, and you're going to have to score one of the top 3 on the top. You can take the random flipped over one, but it could be anything. It could be the highest one, or it could be an eagle in just 1 score. So it's kind of a luck-driven thing there. But you're basically going to be flipping over, creating lines, and then scoring. Overall, if you like golf or really simple card-style games, you can check out this one. Then we had Bricolage Heads, a building-style game for 2 players. This one I might come back to if there's some interest. I didn't know it enough at the time. This is probably a little bit more complicated than most of the games, but it's not too bad at all. But basically, there are a bunch of places on the outside of the board. You're going to be trying to pull these people here over to these areas to score points. You're going to need to build these little bricolage things here, starting with the feet, then the body and the head. You don't need all the pieces. It's just easier to attract people. And you're going to be playing cards here, and basically if you play the diner, you're going to be moving people towards the diner. You're going to put little flyers up, which is what this disc is, to attract people over, then so on. So if you're a fan of the medium weight style games, I think this fits perfect in there. Then we have Panda Ray, a trick-taking collection style game. The biggest thing for me is I wasn't a big fan of the 2-player version of this. In the 2-player version, there's like a random card that's added, and then each player still gets cards. I like the 3, 4, 5-player version. But here, you're going to be playing a card, and basically the highest card will win. Whoever played that will get to go first and then choose one of the cards, and then you'll go in player order, and then basically the last player won't get a card. Now, where the game's fun and where it comes in is, say, this is the hand, but instead of this rabbit card here, you played another bear. Since there's a pair of bears, the pair of bears actually win. So it changes it up in that kind of way. And then as you put your mouse over, you see each animal type does something different at the end. So if you like trick-taking or collection-style games, check that out. They made loose another trick-taking game with quite a twist. So this one here, you'll notice immediately, I cannot see the numbers on my cards where I can see all my opponent's cards. So if you notice, they're all on the left side, the lowest, and then they go highest is on the right side. So here, green here, his lowest purple's a 2 and his highest is a 10. And of course he doesn't know that. It looks just like mine. And then it's pretty traditional trick taking. The yellow is the trump suit, and you're going to be bidding on a number of tricks you think you're going to take. There is a safety bead. None of us used it, but the safety bead allows you to take one more and still get half your points back. So then you just play normal trick taking. You have to follow suit if you can. If you can't follow suit, then you can break it and play a different card. So just a very cool little twist on that. So if you like trick taking, haven't checked this one out, I think it's worth checking out for sure. Then we had Chemical Overload, not Overlord like I said earlier, but Overload. This game is a deck building game, very similar of Dominion, in my opinion. So if you play Dominion, you'll notice here there's the cards you're going to be buying. They're potions now, of course. There is a track up here, and as you basically build these potions with the green, things will go move up. And as you get to these little cards here, you'll actually flip over these toxin cards, which are actually probably my favorite thing about the game, because it just changes it up every game. And then once somebody gets up to here, the game ends. But certain potions, like this one here, gives you points and allows you to draw cards. This one here is more of an engine building. You get better resources to build the bigger ones. One of the best things the game does as well is if you draw one of your flasks, you're not stuck with it in your hand. You can actually store it here at the table. When you use it, it does go back in your discard pile and shuffles around, but at least you can store it here and it's not stuck for a long term. The Alchemy expansion from Dominion years and years ago, there were certain cards that required the flask card, but you had to have that in your hand. And then if you didn't want the flask cards anymore, you were stuck with those flask cards in your hand, and it was just clumsy at best. So if you like deck building, this is probably one of the best deck builders we have on BGA. So go ahead and check it out. And then lastly, we have Shogi, which is just Japanese chess. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I think this version of chess is actually a better version of chess for sure. Now, first, the reason why I haven't played it a ton, if you look at the board, all of the symbols are in Japanese. And it's hard for the Western audience to look at this board and try to remember where everybody's at. It's cool that I can just simply put my mouse over, it'll tell me what it does. So that's really easy, but it's really complicated when I'm like, okay, if I move here, who can attack me? And I'm looking at his pieces, and I don't realize that this is the bishop or the silver general in this case, and he could come all the way down. I miss those kinds of things. So with that out of the way, that's why I haven't played it a ton more. That's why I didn't make a video, because I didn't think it was very fair to the game, because I would have rated it pretty poorly, because I don't have any interest in playing this version. There is some talk about maybe getting, even if it was just a letter that said like G for silver general or SG, B for bishop or something in the little corner. I think that would help people so much play this. But anyways, one of the cool things about this is you can actually, when you take your opponent's pieces, you can actually re-put them on the board, which I thought was really interesting, added a lot to it. Not only am I looking at the board, but I also have to look at my graveyard, or your graveyard in this case, and then see what you can bring on the board. Every piece can upgrade. You'll see there's little dots here. Once it gets to the back 3 rows, you can upgrade the piece. And you see here, promoted is the upgraded. And it looks like red here on the board when it's upgraded. So it's really cool. There's a lot to this. There's a lot more than the normal chess to this game for sure. But until they get some kind of version where I can easily tell the pieces apart, I don't think this one's for me. And for the pick of the week, it's loose again. I think this was the pick of the week when it was in beta, but it's just one I enjoy so much. I enjoy trick-taking. I have a group of 3 friends, and we play constant trick-taking games. We're playing through The Crew again, and then when this came back around, I started another game of this back up with them. So just a lot of fun. Slightly different, but I do really enjoy it. And I think if you enjoy trick taking at all, I think it's just a cool twist on the game that makes it very interesting. It's, super simple to play as long as you understand basic trick taking rules. Well, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. As always, good luck and have fun.